The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
Welcome to the Benjamin Dixon Show. I am your host, Benjamin Dixon. Today is Friday, May Day, May 1st, 2020. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's go straight to this interview that Joe Biden did this morning on Morning Joe, and it did not go well at all. Take a listen.
So, personnel records aside, are you certain there was nothing about Tara Reade in those records? And if so,
I am absolutely certain.
Why not approve a search of her name in those records?
Approve a search of her name?
Yes, and reveal anything that might be related to Tara Reade in the University of Delaware records.
There is nothing. They wouldn't. They're not there. And if it's, I don't understand the point you're trying to make.
The point I'm trying to make is that
there are no personnel records by definition.
The point I'm trying to make is that you are approving and actually calling for a search of the National Archives records of anything pertaining to Tara Reade. I'm asking why not do the same in the University of Delaware records, which have raised questions because they were supposed to be revealed to the public and then they were sealed for a longer period of time. Why not do it for both sets of records?
Because the material in the University of Delaware has no personnel files, but it does have a lot of confidential conversations that I had with the president about a particular issue, that I had with the heads of state of other places, that would not be something that would be revealed while I was in public office or while I was seeking public office. It just stands to reason. To the best of my knowledge, no one else has done that either.
I'm just talking about her name, not anybody else in those records. A search for that.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because this is ridiculous. This American experiment hinging on the ability of an elderly aging man to hide what's in his records. And this is what the establishment wants us to believe is the only option to defeat Donald Trump, a man who is, quite literally destroying America right before our eyes. 60,000 people dead, 30.3 million unemployed. And we are facing a pandemic, the likes we haven't seen in 100 years. And this is the solution this is the opposition. This is the best the opposition party could come up with, is an aging man who does not have the wherewithal to engage in any rhetorical jujitsu, which is necessary, right? It's necessary in this political game. You got to be quick on your toes. You got to be able to process really quickly, and he does not have the processing power. If he did have the processing power, he would probably be able to circumnavigate these waters, these accusations from Tara Reade. Now, I'm saying that precisely the way I said it, with the subtext and everything else that you got from it, because we are in some very dangerous times. And it is the most alarming to me that Joe Biden, this man who does not have the mental faculties to go up against the man who is destroying our country and getting people killed. This is the best that the Democratic opposition, this is who Barack Obama threw his weight behind. This is who Nancy Pelosi threw her weight behind. This is who all of the Democratic establishment fell on their swords for. Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, I was going to say Michael Bloomberg, but he's a Republican. All of them fell on their sword on behalf of this man. And this, it's damn near unbelievable, the position that we're in, the irresponsibleness of the Democratic establishment, the irresponsibleness of this country, the sheer stupidity of this country. And here we are. The future of this country depends on whether or not this man who can't find his way out of a crossword puzzle can lie sufficiently enough to get to a victory in November. It got worse. Listen into this next part.
a search for that. Nothing classified with the president or anybody else. I'm just asking, why not do a search for Tara Reade's name in the University of Delaware records?
Look, I mean, who does that search?
The University of Delaware. Perhaps you set up a commission that can do it. I don't know. Whatever is the fairest way to create the most transparency.
Well, look, Mika, she said she filed a report. She has her employment records still. She said she refiled a report with the only office that would have a report in the United States Senate at the time. If the report was ever filed, it was filed there, period.
Okay. Okay. I mean, literally, the question that Mika is asking him is very straightforward. If you really see, this is what they're doing. So Joe Biden has set up, okay, why don't you go search the National Archives and you'll see that there's nothing in there about Tara Reade, which proves my innocence. Mika Brzezinski said, no. Why don't we search your records at the University of Delaware and find out what's there? And he's like, I don't get what you're saying. That's not a Joe Biden impersonation at all. He said, what do you mean? I don't get your meaning. And he's like, he's so flabbergasted. He just does not know how to reply to a question that he wasn't prepped for, that he doesn't have notes for. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, you should be thanking us. Every single one of you who's upset with progressives, forget about progressives. You're upset with the two journalists who expose this, Katie Halper and Ryan Grimm from The Intercept. Katie Halper of the Katie Halper Show. You're upset with them for exposing this. You legitimately and literally should be thanking them for getting this shit out of the way in May instead of this being an October surprise dropped on him by Donald Trump. Listen, I mean, this irresponsible as well as fallaciously, hilariously wrong idea that if we just don't talk about it, it will slide by. It is so grossly irresponsible. Number one, it is immoral. Number two, but we'll set the morality of it aside. But it is just piss poor politics. You can almost guarantee that everything in your life, when you run for president, every person that you ever wronged is going to come back and haunt you. And if you're a Democrat, if the people on your team who are vying to be the captain of the football team don't crush you, then the other team will. So you should be thanking Katie Halper and Ryan Grimm for getting this out, because now one of two things happens. Either they replace Joe Biden with someone who doesn't have sexual assault in their past, or, the story just dies out. I don't know how it would die out because it's been compounded. The secondary story is actually, to me, far worse than the initial story. Not talking about the sexual assault. That's horrific. What I'm talking about is Joe Biden. To me, he's secondary to what the Democratic Party has done. The Democratic Party has created a secondary story that will absolutely last for a very long time beyond this election. Joe Biden and the sexual assault, that goes away as soon as Joe Biden goes away. In terms of being a national story, that's just how news works. I'm not making a judgment call about the issue or not. I'm just saying when Joe Biden exits off the scene, the allegations and this entire story goes away. But you know what is going to stick? What is going to stick is all of these soulless, opportunistic, disingenuous bastards in the Democratic Party who have thrown their reputation, their integrity, and an entire movement, the Me Too movement. You have thrown it all away on behalf of political expediency that really is a real bad bet, because being politically expedient around Joe Biden is like being expedient about losing anyway, because Joe Biden was never going to win. I'm talking about 8 different things at one time here. I hope you're rocking with me. But if you look at the interview, if you listen to it, you should understand that he does not have the wherewithal to actually go toe to toe with Donald Trump. Not because Donald Trump is so mentally fit, but because Donald Trump is at the base level of society. It doesn't take a lot of intellect to be an asshole. And guess what? The civilization that we created in this country, we like assholes. The people are going to laugh. Donald Trump is going to make fun of Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not going to have any kind of retort, and America's going to laugh, and Donald Trump is going to win. And this is the person, back to the real story, the story that's going to last. This is the person that Barack Obama, I think I listed him already, Nancy Pelosi, Stacey Abrams, all these people who, Kamala Harris, what's your boy name? Elizabeth Warren came out and supported him. Cory Booker came out and supported him. All of these politicians, Bernie Sanders came out and supported him. So all of these politicians have laid their integrity, just threw it on the line for a man who really didn't have a chance of beating Donald Trump in the first place. And that's the story that's going to last. The story that the Republicans are going to be able to grandstand on throughout the rest of American history, while we are alive at least, is the fact that Democrats made all of this noise over Brett Kavanaugh, and as soon as an allegation was laid at their leader, at their candidate, they threw it all away, which means Brett Kavanaugh. This is indirectly exonerating Brett Kavanaugh. At least that's how it's going to be used. And that is what the Democratic Party has done. Listen to this. Listen to Nancy Pelosi.
Well, I have great sympathy for any women who bring forth an allegation. I'm a big, strong supporter of the Me Too movement. I think it's been made a great contribution to our country, and I do support Joe Biden. I'm satisfied with how he has responded. I know him. I was proud to endorse him on Monday. Very proud to endorse him, and so I'm satisfied with that.
My God, that lady, I'm sorry. This is a wrap. You know, when we come back from this patron party, I'm going to tell you what Joe Biden could have done to really shut this down and move everything forward. We'll be back after this.
Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and support The Benjamin Dixon Show.
Let's go. Very special welcome and thank you to all of our newest patrons. This show is entirely impossible without your support. Welcome aboard to Cortez Rice. Thank you for becoming a patron. Devin, thank you for becoming a patron. Chanel Bell, thank you for becoming a patron. Richie Hilmbrock, thank you for becoming a patron. Ray Lynn Bunch, I've known you for years, sis. Thank you for becoming a patron. Amber Walker, thank you for becoming a patron. Random Listener, thank you for becoming a patron. Catherine Nero, thank you for becoming a patron. Yusef Henry, thank you also for becoming a patron. You too can become a part of this prestigious, and wait a minute, we forgot to bob. Everybody bob. There it is. You too can become a part of this prestigious and prodigious patron family by going to patreon.com/The BPD Show, where you get twice the content without any of the annoying advertisements like you're going to get right about here.
Welcome back to The Benjamin Dixon Show. Visit us online at www.thebenjamindixonshow.com.
Here we go. Welcome back. Yep. Come on. The music on this show is fire. I just have to say. Shout out to all of the producers that I got these. I didn't produce any of them, by the way. I used to I tried to be a music producer back in the day. And that's one of the things that I am very mediocre at. So if you ever see me try to put out some music, just be like, no, stay in your lane, Ben. But I know how to curate music really well. And this music is fire. Here's what Joe Biden could have done, ladies and gentlemen. And this was actually suggested by my friend Matt Brunig over there at the People's Policy Project. You can check him out on Patreon. It's a progressive think tank. But here's what Joe Biden could have done, according to Matt Brunig, and I agree. He could have said, listen, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, particularly when I was younger, even though he would have been in his 50s when this happened. And I've done some things that I'm not proud of. And I have hurt people in the past. And I want to say to Tara Reade, I apologize. And I apologize for taking this long. And I apologize for waiting until this moment. But you know what? There's no better moment than right now for me to say to you, I am sorry. But I do believe that this moment calls for us to defeat Donald Trump. And I don't want to defeat Donald Trump at the expense of the Me Too movement. I don't want to defeat Donald Trump at the expense of people not believing women. I feel like I should be held accountable. But in this moment, Americans are trusting me to be the person to defeat Donald Trump. And if the American people would forgive me, then let's unite and defeat Donald Trump. Now, at one point in my life, I wanted to be a speechwriter. And listen, America is so broken in this moment that would work. Right? What can you say to that? What are you going to say? We're going to press charges? I don't know the statute of limitations. I guess I could Google it. But you know what? You know who else I think, and I can't speak for her, but I just got to, I think maybe possibly Tara might accept that apology. I'm not saying that. Oh, wait, okay. Forget about the scenario, right? No telling. Tara might tell him to kiss her ass and go to jail, right? So I don't want to presume that. I don't want to be presumptuous. But I know that there's almost no political maneuver that could outmaneuver that. But what did they do instead? Because what is Donald? Wait. What will Donald Trump say to that? Oh, he apologized. I'm not going to apologize. I don't have anything to apologize for. Well, we have plenty of evidence that he does. Donald Trump could not leverage that against him. But what do they do instead? Deny. And that tells me, ladies and gentlemen, that tells me everything I need to know about the Joe Biden campaign. That tells me that he is using the same exact Democratic establishment consultants who have been there since Juanita Broderick, since Bill Clinton. Deny. That also tells me, because they're using the same Democratic establishment, folks, that chances are they're about to pick Amy Klobuchar or Governor Whitmer from Michigan, because they're using the same. Matter of fact, I think I saw that Chris Dodd, of all people, is over the VP selection committee. Boy, oh boy, this is about to be a spectacular film. And these are the things that are going to weaken. Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Jack. Representation for the black community is going to be insufficient for the people who are not part of the Democratic establishment. Like black folks who don't really rock with Democrats, they're not going to give a shit if you pick Stacey Abrams or Kamala Harris. But you know who will care and really be like, okay, the Democrats still rock with us? The black Democratic establishment. And if they end up picking someone like Amy Klobuchar, they're going to not only lose black folks who don't rock with the Democratic Party, they're going to lose a good portion of the black Democratic establishment. And this is the type of the decision that you make when you have that traditional thinking of a Democratic consultant who has been there since the Clinton years. Like what's your Cajun boy? The guy who talks like a Cajun, bald head dude. It'll come to me in a minute. But he's been there since Bill Clinton. These are the people who are telling Joe Biden that the best way to approach this is to deny. When we're in such a strange time in American history where someone being authentic about what they have done wrong, about who they have hurt, and sincerely asking forgiveness of that person as well as the nation would have been the most magnanimous moment that we need at this moment, to be quite honest with you. Now, that would not be enough for some people. It would never be enough for everybody. But it most certainly would have been enough for him to move past this controversy versus sacrificing everybody. I mean, the blood that is being spilled, the rhetorical blood that is being spilled on behalf of Joe Biden trying to just get across the nomination finish line. Oh, man, the stories that will be told about this moment in American history in the future will be unbelievable. I hope that I'm alive to read some of them. Hell, I hope I'm alive to write some of them. Yep. And on the other side of the aisle, we are faced with the most disingenuous bunch of death culters. The Republican Party is a death cult that is hell-bent on killing people. They would rather you die than the government to give you a dime, as compared to what the government has been giving the markets and giving billionaires and millionaires and corporations. We're in somewhere near $5 trillion that we've given them. But if you ask for $23 an hour while you're on unemployment, then these motherfuckers lose their goddamn minds. Here's Lindsey Graham on Twitter, and there's an article that I will read from. He says, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, he says, if you pay people $23 an hour to not work, they will take you up on it. It doesn't mean they're lazy. It means if you offer them 23 hours not to work, they'll probably take that over 17 to go to work. OK, and here's what he's talking about in the Post and Courier. I believe it's I got to disable my ad block to read this crap. To hell with you people. Look at your damn ads. Go to patreon.com/the BPD show so you don't have to get ads. But anyway, this is what Lindsey Graham actually said. He said, over our dead bodies, Lindsey Graham promises Congress won't extend $600 a week weekly for jobless. Now, this is the same argument that conservatives have been forwarding for some time. It is a bad faith, disingenuous. It's a lie. You don't get unemployment if you refuse work. There's no utility in pointing this out to Republicans. You don't get any value. It's not like they don't know they're lying. It's not like if we just showed them that they're wrong about this point of order, this point of information rather, then they would change their arguments. No, baby, that's not how this works. They know that they're lying, and they're doing it intentionally to achieve their political end. Their political end is to not give the people a damn thing and to give it all away to corporations. Lindsey Graham might be a disingenuous little shit, but he's not stupid. He knows that nowhere in this country can you get unemployment if you refuse work. The only caveat to that is that right now, anyone who is afraid of getting COVID-19 or anyone whose work would expose them to COVID-19 can deny that employment. In other words, right now, you don't have to go looking for work because there's a plague outside of our windows. And this is just too much for Republicans to bear. They really genuinely would rather see you die than to give you a damn penny. But they will open up the coffers of the federal government, of the Federal Reserve, and they will pour trillions into this economy and to the markets and to business owners and to corporations, to millionaires and billionaires. But if you get a cent, they lose their damn minds. This is what's on the opposite side of the Democratic Party. And this is what makes me so enraged about the Democrats. It's because Democrats are asking us to do one of two things. Either we allow the establishment that doesn't really do anything for anybody on any given day of any damn week. Either we allow them to just flourish and continue, or we get saddled with a party that would rather see us die than to do anything for us. The Democrats, as well as the Republicans, are holding us hostage. They're using our lives as collateral and saying, if you want to live, the Republicans are saying, if you want to live, then you got to go out and possibly die from the plague. If you want to eat, then you got to go out and work during the middle of this pandemic that the likes of which we haven't seen in our entire lifetime, probably in 100 years. That's how they are holding us hostage. Democrats, on the other hand, they're saying, listen, if you want to get rid of the people who literally want to kill you, then you got to embrace the people who don't want to do anything for you. We don't want to change anything. We don't even want to give you universal basic income during this pandemic. We're certainly not going to give you Medicare for all. We want everything to remain the same. Now, either you allow things to remain the same or you get stuck with this party that wants to kill you. These are the options that we have been given in the year of our Lord 2020. They don't realize that there is a third option that if we get enough masks for, N90, well, we're not going to take N95 masks. The nurses and the doctors need that. So maybe we will 3D print some other type of mask that will protect us in this pandemic. There is a third option. And the more ridiculous they become, the more they leave us out here to try to survive on our own, the more we will survive on our own. And the more we survive on our own, the more we realize we do not need this government. Not as it is, not the way it's set up. You cannot tell me that our only two options is to either die by being forced to go to work or die in the long run by leaving the system the way it is, because the system the way it is was always designed to slowly kill us so that it can make as much money as it possibly can as we die.
We'll make it up. You put us together. We'll make it up. You put us together. We'll make it up. Put us together.
Fundamental challenge of our day, it is to end economic violence. Plant closing without notice, economic violence. Even the greedy do not profit long from greed, economic violence. Most poor people are not lazy. They're not black. They're not brown. They're mostly white and female and young. But whether white, black, or brown, a hungry baby barely turned inside out is the same color. Call it pain. Call it hurt. Call it agony. Most poor people are not on welfare. Some of them are illiterate and can't read the want ad sections. When they can't find a job that matches their address. They work hard every day. I know. I live amongst them. I'm one of them. I know they work. I'm a witness. They catch the early bus. They work every day. They raise other people's children. They work every day. They clean the streets. They work every day. They drive dangerous cabs. They work every day. They changed the beds you slept in these hotels last night and can't get a union contract. They work every day. No, they are not lazy. Someone must defend them because it's right, and they cannot speak for themselves. They work in hospitals. I know they do. They wipe the bodies of those who are sick with fever and pain. They empty their bedpans. They clean out their commode. No job is beneath them. And yet when they get sick, they cannot lie in the bed they made up every day. America, that is not right.
Reverend Jesse Jackson. Oh, you're waiting on me to say something else. No, there's nothing else to say about that. That stands for itself. But I do want to say something about this clip of Donald Trump. When he was asked about Tara Reade and Joe Biden, he said something that I fear Democrats. I saw it coming, but I don't think Democrats realize who now they have made their bed with. Listen.
At the beginning, and nobody wanted to listen. Yeah, please.
Follow up regarding Joe Biden. Your campaign and surrogates going after him pretty hard with regard to these allegations from Tara Reade. What do you say to Joe Biden?
I don't think so. I don't think they're going after him hard with regard to Tara Reade.
Allegations, and what do you say to Joe Biden?
I don't know anything about it. I don't know exactly. I think he should respond. You know, it could be false accusations. I know all about false accusations. I've been falsely charged numerous times. And there is such a thing.
Jesus Christ. Well, now the Democrats have found themselves in league with Donald Trump. protecting rich and powerful men from sexual assault allegations on behalf of their political power. Now, don't get me wrong. I do know what Trump is doing here. He's baiting the hell out of them. And but now the moral high ground has been neutralized. There's no addressing Donald Trump from a moral perspective of any type. The moral imperative of saving American lives has to be dismissed now. You can't make that argument because you know what he's going to do? He said, how moral are you when you have assaulted your staffer, sexually assaulted your staffer? And then they're going to say, well, then it becomes just a mudslinging contest. Anything said after that is going to be irrelevant in terms of the American people because it's going to be, no, you did. No, you did. No, you did. You're a rapist. No, I'm a rapist. You're not a rapist. You see how that, that's how Joe Biden's is going to go because he's not going to be sharp enough to not accidentally admit to it. These have been the choices that we have been given. And I want the people who are listening to understand two things. One, the primaries are not over. And we do not have to go up against the monstrous, I'll say it, the demonic Republican Party. What the hell is a Party? The Republican Party that is a death cult that would rather see you die than to give you a dime because they want to give all of the dimes to corporations and to Wall Street. We do not have to go into a battle against this great evil with both hands tied behind our back because we decided to go with somebody like Joe Biden. Okay, that's my music. That's my time. Thank you, everybody. You've been a beautiful audience. It's been a beautiful week, all things considered. There's a lot of chaos around us, a lot of sadness around us, but the sun is shining, and sometimes that's all we can ask for. Patrons, stay tuned. We got a lot more to go. Everyone else, be blessed. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and support The Benjamin Dixon Show. If you like this episode, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.